I have the Machinist H97M-PRO. This is a Micro-ATX LGA 1150 H97 chipset motherboard. I bought this to host a i7 4790K. Non-K, I'm sorry, the 4790, the non-K version. Basically, I want to use this motherboard just to build this computer so I could resell it at a different value. Of course, it's not the same value as the LGA 1150 came to be. These are just those Chinese salvageable motherboard. Basically, they take a few parts, few chipsets from known brands like ASUS, MSI, and all these kind of things. Whatever, they just salvage it and build their own motherboard with that. So right now I'm just gonna unbox this thing and we'll take a closer look. So yeah, let's see. Okay, so as soon as I open the box, you get this thing that you just lift it up with your finger, and then you get like a SATA 3 cable. This is good, I'll use that. And yeah, you get the I/O shield down here. The motherboard is like covered, the I/O shield on the bottom, and the motherboard itself comes in an anti-static back and a red kind of foam thing over here. And you have a sticker. They really package it as if it's a new motherboard. I guess it is new motherboard, but a semi-new motherboard. I mean, the chipset are old. And yeah, alright, I'm just gonna unbox it. And whoa, wait a second. I can see a battery. Even with the anti-static on, I can see the CR2032 battery. That's surprising because usually they don't ship it with the CMOS battery, the cell button battery on it. So hold on, let me take this. Let me take it out of its anti-static bag over here so we can take a closer look on the motherboard. And yeah, let's see. Okay, so yeah, they do provide you with the CR2032 cell battery, 3-volt battery. This is weird. Usually they take that out so there won't be any shipping delays. Well, it did take quite a long time for it to arrive, so maybe that was the reason. Semi-long. The DIMM slots were kind of like left open, I guess. I covered it right now. So basically, the connectors that you have here is 4 DIMM slots for DDR3. They're running at 1886 at most, so it also supports 1600 and 1333 and 1066, all that good stuff. Over here you have the LGA 1150 socket. It comes with well, the socket cover obviously to protect the pins, and over here you have an M.2. I think it could work with SATA mode and NVMe mode. It's basically, you could put like 2280, 2242, and that small one, I keep forgetting the name for it. Yeah, it supports, it says right here, it says PCIe and SATA. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, SATA M.2 and PCIe M.2. And as for the PCIe slots over here, you have an X1 PCIe, X16 PCIe, and 2 PCI, regular PCI, the old connectors before the PCIe came out. So yeah, I guess if you have like an older PCI network card, or for whatever reason that you want to install, or like an old sound card that has a PCI connector, then I guess you'd be good with that. That is an older kind of version for this motherboard, so it could make sense, I don't know. It has like the 8-pin and the 24-pin connectors, the standard ones for the power. Okay, you have the CPU fan header and 3-pin case fans header. This is not good for people who wants to control their fans with the motherboard. Usually you'd want to have a PWM so you could control the fans better, you know. So I don't know how good that is, but in my case, there is the fans in the case that I am gonna use. They're connected with Molag, so they'll run in full speed anyway, so this doesn't matter. You have another one of those right here, down here. You have the sound card, the audio in, the HD audio, whatever it's called. Let's see, these are just COM connectors, doesn't matter. This is a USB 3, USB 2s, this is jumper, I don't know. This is for clearing your CMOS. This is a front panel connectors. It has like some sort of a HD LAD kind of. No, it's not HD LAD. I don't know what that is. But you have 5 SATA. I've never seen this before. 5 SATA connectors. Why not just make 6? You have a room right here. Well, you have the capacitor here, so. But okay, you have 5 SATA connectors. Like 3 of them are SATA 3, I guess, and these 2 are SATA 2. Weird. Okay, moving on. Let's see what else have we missed that we have here. Well, you have the chipset over here with a small heatsink on it. It's okay. Basically, I think that's it for the internal connectors. Let's take a look at the external ones, the IOs. So basically, you have 2 USB 2s, a PS2 connectors for your old mouse and keyboards, a COM. Well, no, yeah, this is a COM, and this is a VGA or a DSCAR. I forgot the other name for it. You have a DVI, you have an HDMI connector. That's if you want to use the built-in graphics card. We won't be using any of those. You have a USB, 2 USB 2s, RJ45. You have another USB 2s over here. These are USB 3s, sorry, with an RJ45. These are 2 USB 2s with another RJ45, so you could do like a LAN aggregate, like you can join those together and yeah, have a bigger speed, like I don't know, 2 gigs, I don't know. These are 1G each, so I think you could do like 2G with the link aggregation or whatever. Okay, so moving on, you have the sound card over here, the line in, microphone, and the blue one, I keep forgetting the name for it. Okay, yeah, so that's pretty much it. Now let me just take a look at the pins, make sure that everything is alright. I want to test it out, and then I'm gonna go over and build my machine with it. Let's see. Yeah, seems healthy enough. Yeah, I don't see any irregularities here. Yeah, it's okay. It's good. Oh well, I'm just going to cover this up for now. And yeah, so having gone through all the features of the motherboard, right now I'm going to build my system into it. I'm going to put it into my case, and yeah, we'll take a look when I'm going to finalize the build and everything, and see how this motherboard is going to work with the rest of the parts that I have for it. And yeah, I'll pick it back up once it's everything is up and running. Okay, so I have everything assembled here. The monitor is in the way because I wanted to plug the computer into the monitor right here so I could test it out. I built everything. The motherboard is in there, sits beautifully with my specs over here. Basically this is an LGA 1150, so obviously I have the i7 4790 as I mentioned before. I have just a CPU cooler, a Snowman BK6000 I think it called, just a black version of it. The graphics card is an RX 590 GME. I made a video about it previously. You might have seen it or something, I don't know. The M.2 is just, it's covered over here. It's just, the heatsink is thermal, right? I just bought a separate heatsink for it, but it's just a well-RAM 120 gigabyte or 128, I don't remember. And I have an additional mechanical drive behind the motherboard. I don't know if you can see it, doesn't matter. The power supply is a Seasonic. I like this case, you could actually see the power supply when it's in the shroud. The Seasonic is just a 650 X series, gold rated, 80 plus power supply, pretty good power supply, decent. The case is an NTEC NX290. This is a really budget case. It's really cheap. It comes with 3 ARGB. They're fixed. You can't change them or anything. It's budget. What do you expect? The rear is just a non-LED kind of fan. So yeah, that's pretty much the specs here. Nothing too crazy. It's a budget PC. Wouldn't sell more than probably $500 or maybe $400. Nothing more too crazy, you know. Anyway, right now I'm just going to power on the computer, and yeah, let's see. I have an activity light from the graphics card. Okay, so we have a light on. Let's see. So far it's just see, it's booting up, and we have a successful boot. It's booting into the motherboard. Let me choose which system I want to boot from, but I want to get into the BIOS, to be honest. Hold on a second. Okay, so I'm in the BIOS right here. This is just your American Megatrans patio setup utility BIOS, the old classic style motherboard, as you can see. So we have the H97M-PRO. This is the motherboard. It detects it pretty good. We have the processor information, Haswell Intel Core i7-4790, as I mentioned. Running at 3.6 gigahertz. The frequency is 3800 megahertz. Okay. 32 gigabyte RAM DDR3 detected. Total memory. For now, it's running at 1600 megahertz. I'll have to set it up, and I'll have to set up the time. But we'll have to set up the timings correctly. Right now the CPU temps are 28 Celsius, 29, which is good. It's pretty decent. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna set everything up. I'm gonna boot into the Windows, and yeah, we'll take a look how this motherboard is running. Pretty well. I'm pretty sure it's already running pretty well. I could wrap this video up right now, but we'll see. Alright, let me set things up, and I'll see you in a bit. Well, I've been messing with the BIOS on this motherboard for a while, trying to adjust the memory frequency to 1866 megahertz, but no matter what I do, it caps it to 1600 megahertz, which is okay. It's not a big deal. There is no real performance gain from having it at 1886 megahertz, but you know, I already got this RAM for that supposed to run at 1866 megahertz, so I thought, hey, might as well, I could make it work. But I do remember having this other Chinese brand motherboard. I think it was Jingniu, something like that. I don't really remember which one it was. Could be like also a Machinist board. It has like a setting called Enforce DR, something like that, and once I disabled it, and it allowed me to run an 1866 megahertz, but unfortunately on this motherboard this option is non-existent. I contacted the motherboard manufacturer store on AliExpress where I bought it from. Their website doesn't contain any information about this board, or it's hard to contact anybody, so your best bet is to talk to the AliExpress store. Maybe you will have some answers for me, but there should be like a settings in their BIOS. I'm just not familiar with these settings. Like if it was like a UEFI BIOS, I would have understood it better, but I just don't. And I mean, they put whatever they want in there, so yeah, I will have to wait to see if he has answers for me, if it's any possibility at all. Like they usually they talk to their engineer, the one that designed this motherboard or whatever. and they'll get some answers from him. If I won't be able to, then it's fine. It's gonna be at 1600 megahertz. Like I said, it's not a big deal. This is gonna be used for gaming, and for gaming, like, you barely notice any difference in the FPS, so it's not a big deal at all. So anyway, I'm gonna close this video. I successfully built my system on this motherboard that I've been waiting for, and now I'm going to resell this computer using this motherboard. I think it's a good computer. I've tested a few games on the PC. I've tested the esports game, Fortnite, Apex Legends, Counter-Strike 2, Call of Duty Warzone, Warzone 2 I mean. And I played I tried also Forza Motorsport, Forza Horizon Motorsport 5. They all ran perfectly within around 60 FPS minimum to 150 FPS max. So yeah, this computer could put out that resolution, that 1080p resolution. So there is no problem at all running these games. And this is what this computer is aimed for. It has the RX 590 GME card, which is really an RX 580 in reality. So it doesn't matter. The computer can put out, and it works perfectly. And yeah, I'm going to resell this computer and try to get some money off of it, because personally I don't have anything to do with this computer, obviously. But yeah, it's nice to know that you can build something, you know, that old, that you could repurpose some old components and just shove like a cheap graphics card in there and a salvageable board, but yeah, it will work well. So anyway, this pretty much been the video about the MACHINIST H97M-PRO. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.